This week on the RV podcast, there has been lots of fallout over California's motorhome ban, and now some heavy-duty trucks are being included. A whole bunch of new RV recalls was just announced by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And what to do during the RV off-season. All this plus the RV news of the week, social media buzz, and your questions coming up in episode 523 of the RV podcast. Hi, everybody. Mike Wendland here, and Jennifer will join me in just a bit. But we have lots of new information that we need to get to about what is being now called the California Motorhome Ban. Now, we reported on this last week, and there has been massive fallout over these very controversial regulations that, in effect, will prohibit the sale of new 2025 motorhomes weighing over 8,500 pounds in California and in 5 other states starting January 1st. Those other states are Oregon, Washington, Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. And 5 other states, we've learned, are also slated to enact that same regulation in 2026 and 27. Vermont, Colorado, Maryland, New Mexico, and Rhode Island. This is devastating to the RV industry, and we reported extensively on this last week. And if all this is news to you, then I urge you to go back and listen to episode 422, where we go into great detail about it. But there's just too many new developments that we need to report this week than to rehash it right now. As news of this decision by the California Air Resources Board and its advanced clean truck regulation has spread over the past week, so has outrage and dire warnings. The RV Industry Association, the RVIA, which represents RV manufacturers and suppliers, issued a detailed report on this situation, which has now reached a crisis stage for the industry. Quote, in 2025, California's Advanced Clean Trucks ACT regulation, aimed at promoting zero-emission vehicles, will create a near total ban on motorhome sales in the state, as well as in additional states that follow the California Air Resource Board regulations. While the regulations do not specifically ban motorhome sales, the ACT regulation mandates manufacturers of medium and heavy-duty vehicles to sell an increasing percentage of zero-emission vehicles each year. This has led chassis manufacturers to halt sales of traditional internal combustion engine chassis for motorhomes in California, stemming from a lack of zero-emission vehicle chassis suitable for motorhomes. Now, in explaining the situation, the RVIA addressed one misconception. That's what we all thought last week, that this only applied to supersized Class A diesel motorhomes. Well, this ban affects just about all motorhomes. Here's what the RVIA says. While the majority of the attention thus far has focused on Class A and Class C diesel motorhomes, the regulation, with a few exceptions, applies to all medium-duty or heavy-duty vehicles with combustion engines. Any non-exempted on-road vehicle over 8,500 gross vehicle weight is included, covered by the regulation, including Class B motorhomes, most of which have a GVWR over that amount. Vehicles exempted from the ACT regulation include emergency vehicles, military tactical vehicles, transit vehicles subject to the innovative Clean Transit regulation, school buses purchased by K-12 school districts and other entities, and light-duty vehicles dispatched but not owned by transportation network companies. The regulation takes effect with the 2025 model year. In response to a question at the hearing about non-compliant vehicles coming in from out of state, the California Clean Air Board said that a used vehicle, defined as one with more than 7,500 miles on the odometer, could be brought in and registered. Any motorhome with less than 7,500 miles would be considered a new vehicle and would have to be compliant in order to be registered. So for RVers, here's the situation right now. And this, according to the RVIA, I quote, if nothing changes, motorhomes will not be able to be sold and registered in California beginning in 2025. Well, since we reported on the motorhome issue last week, I have heard from numerous dealers and suppliers and manufacturers, and they are beyond frustrated by this. With the industry already in a downturn because of weak sales from high interest rates and consumer uncertainty over inflation, they see this as a devastating hit. The comments that we've received on the blog and on YouTube from RVers has been equally outraged. There's been one more development that we need to report. Ford Motor Company last week announced that some 2025 Ford Super Duty chassis cab models will not be sold or delivered in California due to the increasing emission standards there. Now, these units are above 19,500 gross vehicle weight ratings, so super large ones, like the F600, will not be sold or delivered in California. The California Clean Air Resources Board also met last week and did not address the RV and truck industry issues at all. Instead, it passed new emission control rules that will significantly raise fuel prices in 2025 by as much as 65 cents a gallon. Californians already have the highest gas prices in the country. They pay on average $1.47 a gallon more than any other state. And these new fuel hikes next year are going to be on top of this. Well, we have links to all of the statements and the reports and the reactions on this issue that you just heard. You can find them in the show notes for this episode, and they are on our blog at rvlifestyle.com/podcast, rvlifestyle.com/podcast. We promise we'll stay on top of this issue and we'll update the story as it continues to unfold. All right, that's a lot of news. Now we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, Jennifer's going to join me, and we're going to have our RV conversation of the week about what to do during the RV off-season. Are you ready to embark on an unforgettable adventure in your RV? Our RV Lifestyle Travel Guide ebooks are your ultimate companions for exploring North America's most breathtaking destinations. They'll help you hit the road with confidence and make the most out of your RVing experience. We're Mike and Jennifer Wendland, and we are passionate explorers and the authors of an entire library of RV Travel Guide ebooks. We have meticulously put together detailed travel maps showing you the best routes, where to stay, what hidden gems to discover along the way. From the majestic Yellowstone National Park to the vibrant colors of Colorado, the awe-inspiring beauty of Utah, the enchanting deserts of Arizona, the tranquil Great Lakes region, the pristine wilderness of the Adirondacks. We've even done a captivating 3-part guide to RV travel and camping in Florida. No matter where your wanderlust takes you, we've got you covered. Our curated list of must-see attractions ensures that you won't miss out on any unforgettable experiences. You want to witness the eruption of Old Faithful? We've got you covered. Craving an epic road trip through breathtaking landscapes? We've got the perfect route for you. Dreaming of beachside camping under the stars? We know the best spots. With our ebooks available for instant download at rvlifestyle.com/books, you can have the knowledge you need right at your fingertips. Head over to rvlifestyle.com/books and start exploring the wonders of North America today. Unforgettable adventures are waiting. Welcome back, everybody. Joining me now, my lifelong traveling companion and my bride, Jennifer. What a mess, huh? That California Motorhome Ban?
What a mess. And, it's coming our way.
It's coming to a lot of states. We'll see if cooler heads prevail, but I'm sure it's a story we'll be covering for some time. All right, time now for the RV conversation of the week. And this week's topic, what to do during the RV off season. Now, I should preface that to say that for some people, there is no off season.
Yeah, some lucky people just go where it's warmer so they don't have to winterize.
Yep, snowbirds and full-timers, you're always in it. But for the vast majority who really don't do much from the time it starts to get cold until spring, we want to challenge you a little bit to do some fun things with the RV in mind. And let's start with the first tip.
Well, the first thing is go winter camping. Yes, you really can do camping in the wintertime. Even if your camper is winterized, you can still camp. We've done it a lot. You just bring some water to drink and antifreeze for the toilet so you can use your toilet. So it's all workable.
Now, we have lots of winter camping information on the RV Lifestyle blog. Just go to rvlifestyle.com. And we even have a book on how to camp in the winter. And you can find that at rvlifestyle.com/winter. So check out our book, check out our blog stories. But you can camp. And a lot of people do. Every year, we've been doing this since we started. And every year, a few more people seem, hey, we tried what you said, and it really is great. So first thing we suggest in the off season is don't make it the off season by just going out occasionally, camping in the wintertime. Yes, camping even in the snow. It's a lot of fun. We have done it many times, and we hope you try it.
And our Norwegian elk hound, who likes the snow, totally loves it when we go winter camping.
All the dogs do.
Yeah.
Everybody that we've camped with who brings dogs, they just absolutely love it. All right, so that was the first thing. Now, the other thing that you should think about doing in the off season is major maintenance. The things that a dealer needs to handle, like slide issues or engine problems on motorhomes, roof leaks, leveler problems. Now, these are things where if it happened during if you're going to get this done during the camping season, you'd have to leave your RV there. But they're not as busy in the wintertime. And you can take your RV there. You can then leave it without a lot of pressure because you don't have to be somewhere next week. And actually, I think they'll give you a little better service because they're not quite so busy. So maintenance is a big deal.
Oh, maintenance is a really big deal because you don't need that slide to decide not to work. Maybe it's been giving you a little bit of grief, but you think, oh, it's okay. You want to fix it now so that it doesn't interfere when you're ready to go.
So get these major things done in the off season, and then in the on season, I like that. The on season, you'll have lots of opportunities. Now, while it is in storage in your yard, or if you can work on it wherever you have it stored, your RV, you can do some minor maintenance and cleaning, for example.
Yeah, little things that have bothered you. Now is the time. Turn that heater on and go to it. Get those things done that need to be done that you've put off.
We all have some annoying little DIY things. Make a list of them before you go out there, and then just, maybe every week you click off a couple of them. Things that you don't normally have time to do during the busy camping season. And this will keep you in contact with your RV. Sometimes, when we're not using our RV for an extended period of time, we just go out and hang out in it.
We do.
We do. I bet other people do that too.
Yeah, the grandkids will say, let's go out there and play a game or watch a movie or something, and they think it's a great treat too.
So depending on how cold it is and what the weather is, you can wash your RV, you can wax it. Everybody should do that at the start of the season. You should lube the steps if you have those mechanical steps that come in and out. Handle any squeaky doors. Leaky toilet seals. Those are all things that you can take care of. So there's two things you can do. Now, what else?
You can make a calendar, just leisurely dream and plan your 2025 travels. Research campgrounds, boondocking sites, read reviews, draw up your routes, ask people on the rvcommunity.com for what to do in these areas that you'd like to visit.
It's one of the things that we see often done on our RV Lifestyle community, which is at rvcommunity.com, is people saying, hey, I'm planning a trip to Colorado and I want to see as many things as I can. What's the best route? And somebody in Colorado will suggest, sometimes they'll suggest you get our RV travel guide to Colorado. Or the one for Arizona, or the one for Utah, or the one for Yellow. We have a lot of travel guides, but plan, check out your routes, make a calendar. Those are really an important thing. And along with that,
well, make your reservations early, for the places that you really want to make sure that you get to those places. You don't have to plan every day, but if there's a couple of places that you really want to get to, make sure you get your reservations so you're not disappointed.
Yeah. The other thing you can do in the off season is, and this is a really good idea, reach out to the RVers that you met last year. Everybody gives you a card or something, and I hope you keep them when you meet somebody on the road. Well, do a catch-up visit. Send them an email. Um, give them a call on the phone if you're not too far apart. Plan a visit at a restaurant or something. Invite them over, or plan a camping trip together. Arrange for a visit. The people that you meet along the road, you always say, yeah, I'd love to connect again. Well, you can do that. And another shameless plug for our RV community, that's a big part of why we started the RV community. So friendships and relationships can be made, and all that can take place online in a private community that's not on Facebook, where everybody gets crazy. So connect with other people and plan a meetup. Meeting people and hanging out with them is just a lot of fun. That's why we're setting up these mini meetups around the country. Different regions of the country, different members of our RV community will say, hey, come meet us at this brewery or at this museum or wherever. And people get to connect. So keep that connection going all year round.
And take time to remember your adventures. Go through your photos. Think of making them into a photo book. A lot of RVers do one for each year, their travels of that year. Otherwise, I always say if you don't take a picture, it didn't happen, because it's so easy to forget the beautiful, beautiful things that you've experienced.
All of the major platforms that you have photos on your phone, all of them have apps or resources that you can use to create a photo book. And there's some commercial services available. You just search under Google, create a photo book. But those are really fun. And to do one for every year, just something about opening them up. Related to that, as you remember all the things that you did, go through all those pictures. We've been doing that with the stuff we've taken just this year. And I have so many photos, and some are duplicates. So we get rid of the duplicates. So we kind of shrink the memory, but we really love to take a look at those photos and remember them in the places we go, because they always give us ideas about what we want to do next year. So speaking of next year and the year after,
make a new RV bucket list. Things change, new ideas come up. Make your bucket list for the new year and beyond. Short term, long term.
We all need a bucket list.
We do. Otherwise, time just goes by and darn, I didn't do what I wanted to do.
I've never met anybody, but there probably are people who had a bucket list and they said, done it, we did it all, we're done. And maybe there are people like that. Our bucket list just gets longer and longer.
It does.
And sometimes you have great grand bucket lists to do, like a coast to coast 3-month tour, and maybe you can't do it this year and it stays on your list. But make short-term bucket lists. What we want to accomplish in the spring, what we want to accomplish June through August, what we want to do in the fall. So you have little attainable bucket list destinations that you can do. But keep adding to it. That's really fun.
And order the supplies you're going to need for 2025. Water filters, at least 2. New drinking hose.
Start the new year out with a new water filter and a new drinking hose. Yep.
Black tank treatment products. Get them now while they're in stock, so you won't. You're going to have them when the RV rolls out and you're on the road in late spring. And we'll link to all the RV products we use on our Amazon storefront.
And you can find that at amazon.com/shop/RV lifestyle. We have a whole bunch, all the products that we feature. We just kind of, if we can find an Amazon link, we put them in one spot. Storefront's like a library for us of all the things that we use. But amazon.com/shops/RV lifestyle. And I know, we try to buy, we like this Happy Camper black tank treatment. And last year I tried to order it in February, and it was all sold out. I eventually got it about a month later, but we had a trip coming in March and I wanted to have it on hand, and I wasn't able to get it on time.
It's a silly thing, but how do you feel about the toilet paper? Do you like the single? Do you like the double? I mean,
no single ply toilet paper in our RV. That's our rule.
So stock up on what you want so that you're not someplace on the road and have to get the leftovers.
Yep. Make a list. Lists are important. Get some new apps for your smartphone and your tablets. We are always looking for new apps that can be helpful to RVers. Apps where to fill freshwater tanks, where to find dump stations, health apps for emergencies you might have on the road, or apps to find cheap gas. We have lots of links to them, and we'll put them if you go to rvlifestyle.com/apps, rvlifestyle.com/apps. The idea is add some new ones to your smartphones and tablets, and during the off season, kind of get to learn how they work, check them out. Oh, this isn't going to help. This is really helpful, and just kind of master a couple of new apps, because there are so many. Then they can really save you time and make you more efficient, help you find new things.
Now, along these same lines, we asked members of our RV community how they spend their off season. Lots of snowbirds. Of course, we expected that. RVers who winter in South Texas, Arizona, and Florida told us that for them, there is no off season. Quit your boasting. But here are some of the replies from those who RV are in places where they are winterized and unused till spring.
Here's one from Ari, and Ari says, we're on the road about 3/4 of the year, returning to our sticks and bricks for the holiday season. So our off season from mid-October through late December is a good time for maintenance on our RV, catching up on doctor and dentist appointments. That's what we're doing. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we have a double date to go to the eye doctor for our annual
in the old neighborhood.
Yeah. Ari says tackling projects on the house to make sure it's ready for the winter. And of course, Ari says they spend the coldest days indoors plotting their travel adventures.
Great ideas. And then from Suzanne, she said, hanging out at home, may do a few things over the end of December, early January, in a modern cabin in a state park to do the first day hike, which are fun.
Almost all the states now have what they call first day hike. Instead of just sitting in the house on New Year's Day, get outside. Many of them have really elaborate little programs so you can take a hike, little challenges you can do, but get outside and have fun, bundle up and go enjoy a hike.
Do you remember for years we would go to downtown Detroit and we did a New Year's Eve fun run?
We did a New Year's Eve run.
That was fun.
Yeah. Peter says he's planning out his trips for the next 2 years in the off season.
And Kristen said we spend time camping on the ice and fishing all winter.
Yeah, a lot of people. If you live in a really cold state like Minnesota, northern Michigan, Wisconsin, North Dakota, probably out in Montana, and maybe out in New England as well, ice fishing is huge, and literally they have camps out on the ice.
Heaters, which always amazes me.
Heaters in there, and it's quite warm. These heaters, because in really cold climates, the ice is that thick, it isn't going to melt. So you can go winter camping on the ice, fishing all winter, like Kristen says. Kristen says, I like that.
And then Jeff shared, make a list of all the to-do before spring chores on the RV. Then work hard all winter so that you can take time to play next season.
Rebecca says, we hike and go to the grandson's basketball games. That's why we're staying home this winter and last winter. We have hiking boots with spikes for the ice and snow. Works pretty well.
Yeah, we got our spikes to put on the bottom of our shoes.
Yeah. And I remember one of our winter campouts, I didn't have the spikes on, and I went whoosh, bam. I ended up doing a small fracture in my elbow.
And then you were upset I didn't come join you. And I thought, I wasn't going out there. It was, you were in the middle of a patch of ice.
Yes, it was up in
I wasn't going to fall.
Up in the Upper Peninsula, and I had gone out to get a video of people coming across the Mackinac Bridge into the Upper Peninsula. And I got the video, and I was coming back. You were in the car. I believe you were on the phone.
Talking to our daughter.
Talking to Wendy. And I was out there, and I literally, my feet, it was so, I just, bam. And I kind of laid there dazed for a while. And Jennifer's on the phone. She's like, just totally, I'm like, help.
But you should know how to get off ice. You got to get on all four and crawl off.
Well, that's literally what I did. And I got no sympathy from this woman at all. Oh, well, we're still in need of counsel over that. I was terribly traumatized. But anyway, those little spikes, that you put on your shoes, you can find those on Amazon as well. Get a pair, slip them over your shoes. Honest, it really makes
It makes a
walking on
difference.
ice and snow easier.
Makes a difference. And then Randall says staying home and other methods of traveling by land, air, and sea just cannot sit still for long.
So those are our ideas and the ideas of many of our friends from the RV lifestyle community about what to do during the off season. And yes, we still are in envy of all of you who smugly say we don't have an off season because we're in Florida or Arizona. And well, we all wish we could do that too. We do our best to get down there. We usually get there right after Christmas. But anyway, I hope that you just don't forget about it all. You can keep your passion for RV and the RV lifestyle alive. And again, another pitch, go join the RV lifestyle community. It's a closed, private community off Facebook, so you don't have any of that nastiness. You'll connect with real RVers, no spammers, none of that stuff, none of that AI junk that Facebook says and or Facebook sends you in ads. You know, on Facebook, I swear, if you think about something and you're on Facebook, you don't even have to type anything. How do they do that? You start getting ads about that. I don't know.
Just
Anyway,
saying, huh?
that kind of stuff doesn't happen. Go join the RV lifestyle community at rvcommunity.com. All right. That's our RV conversation of the week. If there's something you'd like us to talk about in a future episode of the podcast, just send us an email. Our personal email is mikeandjen@rvlifestyle.com.
Well, now it's time for the social media buzz with Wendy Boyer. And Wendy reports on the hot issues most talked about this past week on social media in our RV Lifestyle community group.
Hi, everybody. In our RV community's travel, trips, and tour space, we had a really good post recently from Cindy about length. Now, Cindy and her husband are newbies, and they're making their camping reservations and getting ready to go out there. And she asked the group, what does the campground want to know when they ask for the length of your unit? So she's wondering, do they want to know about the unit itself only? Do they want to know the connections? Do they want to know the towed length as well if you're pulling a towed? And this led to a great discussion. Most of the group said that they only want to know the length of your unit. But there were some great tips that sometimes they want to know more. For instance, Mark said if you're going through a pull-through site, maybe they want to know the length of your towed. So that way you can pull through with your towed. And if you're there maybe one night, you don't even have to unhook and you're all set. And Ari said sometimes campgrounds want to know the whole thing because not because of campground's spot size, but because of the road maneuverability. They might have roads that have some sharp turns in them, and if you're too long, you're just not going to be able to do it. So great conversation there. And then also in our community, in our RVing retirees space, we asked what's the best day to travel and make a trip and why? And this post was so interesting because the questions were just all over the place. The only 2 days that I did not see mentioned at all were Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I don't know what it is about those days, but those are not big with the retirees. But if I had to pick one, the day that came up the most was Sunday. And there were lots of reasons for this. Jim said that he's found that Sunday is the day when there are the least amount of cars on the road. So that's a definite plus. Julio said that he likes Sundays because, it's the end of the weekend, so people are going back to work the next day, and that generally means you have a little more options with your campgrounds. And then Rita and Jeff said, Sunday's the way to go just because overall there's less crowds. So again, great tips there. And then in our RV Lifestyle Facebook group, lots going on as always. One post that caught my eye was from Brandon. Now, Brandon's wanted to know about pulling up for fuel when you're on a road trip. In fact, he said that he experiences extreme anxiety every time he has to pull up to a gas station when he's on a travel day. He sounds like he drives by himself, so he doesn't have a spotter. And he also has about a 32-foot rig, but he needed some tips because the whole experience was not fun. And what I loved about this post is he has so many great tips, and there were so many people who felt the same way, many of whom had overcome it. I remember seeing a tip of getting a 360 camera to help you see everything better. Another tip about going to a driving school, RV driving school. There was a woman who said she thought she was a good driver. She went to the driving school and she just really increased her skills, and now no problems at the gas stations. Others said, there can be some technique in your gas station pull-up procedure, only go through ones where you can go straight. When you have to use the pump, try to choose an end pump. If you have to, when you turn, make sure you swing really wide. You can always have that hose reach. But by far, the most common tips were to plan ahead and use a truck stop. Many pointed out that truck stops, a lot of them have gas and diesel options. And by planning ahead, many people, the day before they make their trip, they kind of say, okay, I can go so far on, I get so many miles per gallon, I can make it this far down the road. And then they research what gas stations are there. They look at things like Google Maps, satellite views, street views. They really eyeball it and make sure that they're going to feel comfortable pulling it in there with your unit. And by doing this little bit of pre-planning, they said they have no anxiety and no problems anymore when they have to get fuel. So great tips, and I hope that helps some folks. And that's it for me this week. I'm Wendy Boyer, and I'll see you either in our RV lifestyle community or Facebook group.
I really like the conversation about the newbies that said they were pulling, and a lot of campgrounds wanted to know how long they were. And then they thought, does that mean the trailer or hooked up to the rig? They wanted to know exactly what they were supposed to say. And there were so many good replies, things I hadn't thought about. And I've looked at people unhook their tow vehicles, and maybe, they just get so long. And then the other thing, something I never thought about, was making turns and corners that if you get real long, they can't put you in spot C or D because you wouldn't be able to navigate in there. And I have to say, I really appreciate campgrounds where they drive you in a golf cart and make sure you get securely into your spot. But there are a lot of things to think about. So don't be offended when somebody wants to know how long your rig is. And you could even ask them, does that count the truck, the vehicle, the tow? It's all important. It's a very good question.
Yep. All right. Time now for the RV news of the week.
Well, now we're going to talk about RV recalls that, they announce them every month, but this month there seems to be a lot of them and they seem rather serious. So we're going to tell you about these.
Yeah, it's each month the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, lists current recalls. And as Jen said, most of them we don't report on because they're minor. They involve 5 or 6 units here. And, it's not worth us sending this out to everybody. But there are a couple this month that affect a significant number of RVers. The Winnebago has a whole bunch of RVs on this month's list. They're recalling 5,313 of its 2020 through 2024 Winnebago View and Navion motorhomes that are equipped with certain Lippert metal art door assemblies. Turns out that the door assembly may have been manufactured with an incorrect window adhesion, and that causes the window to loosen or become detached. Winnebago is still developing whatever the remedy to this is, and they're going to send out notification letters to the owners of those affected vehicles on December 30th. Also, Winnebago is recalling 11,982 2014 to 2018 Sightseer, Itasca Sonova, 2016 to 2025 Forza, Vista, and Itasca, the Winnebago Sunstar, and then 2015 through 2025 Adventurer, 2015 to 24 commercial vehicles, and 2015 to 2028 Itasca Sun Cruiser. And 2016, 2017 Itasca Soleil recreational vehicles. They're all being recalled because the hood bracket adhesive may have been incorrectly applied, which can allow the bracket to detach. And Winnebago's still trying to develop the remedy for that. They will send notification letters out, they say, by December 30th. And there's another large recall we want to mention. This involves Forest River. They're recalling 288 2025 Vive and Cedar Creek travel trailers. The stove may detach from the cabinet, and they're developing a remedy for that. Notification letters are expected to be mailed December 11th. So NHTSA announces these things each month about this time, and then they tell you when you're going to get your notification letters. But it's a shame that the notification letters don't go out as soon as they announce it, because a lot of people don't hear these announcements like we're making and other media people announce. But at least they're all on top of that stuff. So all of this is in our show notes. I know it's hard when I'm reading all those off. And the show notes for this episode are at rvlifestyle.com/podcast. Another story.
Well, this is one you want to take note of. We heard from a Virginia RVer who was charged with a massive toll charge for driving just 45 miles on state toll roads near Washington, D.C.
This is a warning for those of you who, in an RV, who take a toll road. It can be very expensive.
The Laundry family from Falls Church, Virginia, took a little weekend camping trip, and the husband and dad, Jeff, took I-66 express lane during peak rush hours.
Now, Jeff knew that he was going to pay a toll, but he figured that the RV might add a little extra cost. He was thinking $20 to $30 maybe each way, and he saw that as a fair price for saving time.
And can you imagine his shock when he saw the charges roll in days later for his Easy Pass bill? Get ready for this, folks. $569.50 for the quick round trip.
And that's not a mistake. His 3-axle RV was charged according to its size, and still each way was only about 22 miles. The total felt like price gouging, and he just didn't realize something called dynamic pricing would be involved with toll roads. Now, dynamic pricing is a very complicated thing. And the express lanes on I-66 use that dynamic pricing. And what that means is that rates are adjusted based on traffic demand. They charge drivers who want to skip congestion at peak times. You pay extra for that. And if you're in a large vehicle like Jeff's 1997 Holiday Rambler, you can incur much steeper tolls because they occupy more space. They wear down the road faster. And by the way, it only saved him 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
20 minutes because he used the toll road. And nobody likes this dynamic pricing except the hotels, the airlines, and yes, campgrounds that make big bucks with it.
Yep. Campgrounds are doing this too. So if you don't want that to happen to you, set your GPS to stay off of the toll roads. But if you must travel,
if you got to travel with them to avoid rush hours Fridays and Sundays when, people are returning from their trips, busy weekends.
Yep. And one more story about our favorite national park, which is Glacier National Park. And we kind of knew this was going to come, didn't we? They are joining other popular Western national parks in adopting a timed reservation-based entry policy.
Now, this timed reservation policy affects the west entrance of Going to the Sun Road and North Folk Road between June 13th and September 28th, 2025.
And that happens to be our favorite entrance.
Yeah.
So if you want to visit between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. during those months, you will need a reservation. But if you want to get around that, you got to arrive before 7 a.m. Or after the 3 p.m. time. And the reason for this, obviously, is to reduce congestion. And it's quickly, I think, becoming the norm. So as you plan your summer travels,
yeah, you're going to want to make your reservations as far in advance as possible.
All right, let's go to the RV question of the week. And again, if you have a question or a comment on anything you heard here, send them to us at Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com. All right, what's our question?
Okay, here we go. What a mess. We went to hook up the stinky, slinky hose to drain the black tank today. And when my husband took off the cap on the pipe that comes out of the RV, a bunch of really yucky liquid came out. I thought I saw you in a video a while back talking about something that will prevent that. And that was from Denise.
Oh, yeah. Been there, done that, Denise. And that is why we have something that you will want to get called a gate valve. And the one we have is from Camco, and it's officially called the Camco 39050 ready to use gate valve with built-in clear adapter. And what it is it's an adapter that attaches to that drain that comes out of your RV, and you keep that gate valve shut until you've hooked up your hose to it, and then you secure the other end of the hose in the dump receptacle. Then you can open that gate valve, and as you drain your tanks, you'll find it's no muss, no fuss. And then after you're all done with that, you clean out your tank by emptying your gray water into it. It'll clean it all out. Then shut the valves on the two tanks, and then shut that gate valve. And then you can take out your hose, and then you put the cap back on the hose. But that's what you want to get. And they're not much money. I think around $30 or so. We will put an Amazon affiliate link to that. You can also find them at many camping stores and RV dealers and stuff. But you want a gate valve. And many of us have learned that the hard way, just like your husband did. So give him a present and get him one. You got a question for us? Send us at Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Happy trails.